Well, on a much happier note, Desiree Storey is with us. She's the manager of the FirstRand Volunteers Program. It was started 6 years ago. Who had the initiative?
Alec, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity and to be on the show. It was really based on our past president's appeal to the nation in 2003, appealing to South Africans to become a nation of volunteers. And FirstRand took that literally, and we brought it into the business and decided to take it to the heart of our business and to the staff, and to facilitate and support our staff giving out in the communities.
So Thabo Mbeki says, let's all become volunteers, and you took it literally. How many people participate?
We have approximately 25% of the 43,000 staff with FirstRand at the moment involved in the program.
There's more than 10,000 people.
That's about 10,000 people.
And what do they do?
Well, it really does vary. It starts from the basic handouts of food, clothing, that kind of thing, but then it moves into capacity building, income generation programs that they will support, raise funds, and basically go in and support and help these organizations with things like veggie gardens, bread ovens, that kind of build and uplift the communities that the community organizations they work with.
On company time?
It depends on workload. Of course, everybody does this outside of what they do for FirstRand, but it depends on workload. It does happen in the group's time. It depends on CEO discretion. So we do go with that. But the policy is that, yes, if work is done and everybody gets an opportunity to go out in the community on the group's time.
What was interesting as well, reading through how this whole process works, is do you have a matching principle?
Yes, we do. What we do is we match the staff. Funds raised, we match them rand for rand. And if they go out in their own time as individuals and as groups, we see that as a team building opportunity as well. The staff are matched to give back to their charities.
Do you know of other groups in South Africa who do something similar?
This is really not really a growing trend. We're about 2 years into a trend which has taken corporates, and corporates are taking this seriously, where they know that to be a successful business in South Africa, we need to be putting something back into our communities as well. And that's really it. I'm contacted daily by the corporates, not daily, let's make that a little bit more realistic, but I'm contacted regularly by the corporates who want to understand our model and apply it themselves.
Part of the reason for my interest here is I'm involved with St. Joseph Care, which is at the Sizanani village,
Yes.
looking after Bronkhorstspruit. And one of the things that they keep saying to me is donors nowadays want to have specific projects, but we need to run an operation which a lot of the money that we need is sometimes not specific. And they talk about things like payroll deductions and encouraging that amongst companies where money can come in and get used, not necessarily to go into a feeding scheme, for instance. You've done that quite successfully at FirstRand.
We have, and we actually had our FirstRand Volunteers Awards evening, 2 evenings, well, on the 5th of November, on Wednesday evening. And we acknowledged our 2 very, very successful payroll giving programs on Wednesday evening.
Explain how that works.
What it is staff donate whatever they would like to donate to a charity which is identified by the committee, the volunteers committee within that particular division. We have Momentum, RMB, West Bank, First National Bank, where these payroll giving programs are being implemented. And we would like to encourage more of that understanding that the non-profits do need that kind of access to funding.
So Wayne McCurry, who works for RMB,
Yes.
might decide to pay or to give 100 Rand a month to charity. He could then get it deducted off his payroll, and it would go to which charity?
It would go to charities that are identified by RMB Asset Management, for example. They've got a committee of people, and that would be shared with him, and he would be able to decide, and he is matched for that. So his 100 Rand would be matched as well.
It seems a much better idea than giving 10 Rand to a guy who stands at a robot, and you don't really know if he is indigent or just having a good
Absolutely, and
business.
where it's going, yes.
At your awards, and perhaps we can just close off by looking at one of the interesting award winners, a gent called Patrick Lowe.
Absolutely.
What's his story?
Fascinating story. Patrick works for Momentum. He works in the mailroom at Momentum, and he has connected. He has an incredible humbleness about him. He actually originates from the Da'ar community. He and his wife are involved with the Da'ar community on a quarterly basis. They drive down to DAR. They collect funds. They've just donated, in fact, a bread oven to a high school in DAR. And that has created an income generation program and created jobs for people in DAR. They've done it themselves. They've done it themselves. They've actually gone to the Momentum staff, and through the payroll giving, as well as through doing his own fundraising with management at Momentum, he's managed to raise 100,000 Rand over the last financial year to give back into that community.
Desiree Storey, manager of the FirstRand Volunteers Program. We don't often talk about the softer side of business, but boy, when you get exposed to the needs that there are in this country and how little efforts from your side, just little bits, can make such a huge difference. I think it is something that maybe we underplay.
We do, and I would encourage more corporates and individuals out there to really experience giving back and to really know what that does in your own lives. And I think if we all pull together a lot more in this country that way by giving to others, we've got a lot going for ourselves.